Hi everyone, it's me, Satya, coming to you from the Goddess Touch Wellness Center. Thank you so much for joining me again for our third video blog. Today we're going to talk about a huge topic and one that's probably the closest to my heart of any topic ever. So I'm excited, and I'm also a little nervous because I want to do it justice. But this is just going to be a taste of this topic probably for you, because there's emerging all this new information coming out right now. It seems to be in the collective consciousness, emerging and this divine timing. So without further ado, we'll be talking about the masculine and feminine. So maybe you've heard these topics or this topic before, maybe in the context of like a psychology class when you're learning about gender roles. That's when I first started diving into it. And then I was on my spiritual path already and began to apply those gender roles to my spiritual path. So many of my spiritual friends, you've heard much about the masculine and feminine and have done a lot of inner work with this and are beginning to have workshops around this amazing topic, and I couldn't be happier to see that. I think it's so needed right now on the planet for this transition we're going through to a new way of living, a new way of being in harmony with each other and sharing and protecting the earth together, living more from our divinity, living on purpose, as it's called, a workshop that I'd like to invite you to this Saturday at Flow Yoga. You can check it out at the Flow website. But yeah, sorry about that little plug-in. I wasn't planning on that. So basically, yeah, with these topics emerging, they're going to be a key gateway to what many are calling this awakening on the planet that's happening. So you might have heard that word, you might not have. You might feel things shifting a little bit, like maybe one sign of it in someone's everyday life would be the fact that more and more people are going to alternative medicine practitioners and trusting in methods like acupuncture, things that involve energy healing. And these are, you know, everyday people. I don't like that word, but your neighbor, your brother, sister. It's like the mainstream culture is beginning to turn towards these Eastern practices, and yoga is becoming huge among, again, the mainstream, which is another amazing sign. We're looking to deepen ourselves. We're looking to see what's beyond this reality. And some people who have already had religions, they're deepening in their religions, and they're tying in yoga, because yoga's not really a religion. It can be applied to anything. They're tying in all sorts of complements to that deepening and understanding of their higher power. So I feel in this whole process, in this shift of turning more towards divinity, more towards healthier ways of being and co-creating, co-collaborating, I guess co is already in that word, but living at peace finally around the globe as a human family. I know this seems like really out there, and maybe some of you think it's impossible, but I don't think that. I'm seeing a lot of promise just rising up around me like little flower buds blossoming here and there, and it just keeps spreading and spreading. It's like there's a quote I'm not going to be able to quote the person right now, but if you look it up, it goes, "No army can stop an idea whose time has come." And I really feel that with this new understanding that's happening. The new understanding of the masculine and feminine, the new understanding of how we can coexist, how we can love one another as extended family members. And the way it will apply to the masculine and feminine is, I see it as we're bringing in an honoring of the divine feminine. After years, and I mean years, at least 2,500 is like the number that many people quote, of the so-called patriarchy, or the male-dominated ways of being in culture. There's a lot that goes into this, and I don't want any men watching this to think that I'm bashing you, because I feel everything happens for a reason. I feel we were all meant to go through these experiences together, and that we were all playing roles throughout for the education of our souls. We have been playing our roles really well, teaching each other a lot along the way, and learning about power, learning about greed, learning about abuse of power, I think. Learning the ways that when masculine is not balanced with feminine energy, things get out of hand, that violence ensues often when the masculine is not conscious of itself, when it doesn't honor itself and live through the divine and work in harmony with its feminine counterpart, which is the dance of all the cosmos. The yin and the yang, the feminine and masculine, are always dancing within every particle in the universe. In me is dancing masculine and feminine, yin and yang. In you, in every single person, is this dance. And it just couldn't be more core to the essence of creation, a more important concept to know, at least in our world of duality, which is, you might have heard of enlightenment as waking up to the oneness that we all are, but away from that, a step down from that oneness is when the oneness begins to split into separate identities, entities, forms, color, sound, light, people, genders. Let me not get too far off of topic here, but basically, what was I saying? Yes, we've been living in an unconscious masculine culture for the last at least 2,500 years in this patriarchy. I'm just going to go with the numbers quoted, and that has meant a lot of hard lessons, a lot of destruction, because it's been out of balance. And so right now what's happening is that we're beginning to come into balance. Women are feeling this divine feminine in them stronger than ever, and you can feel this power behind the feminine in them that's been suppressed. You can feel it rising, and I'll go into this movement that's happening that peaked, I guess, on February 14th, but I hope it continues, called 1 Billion Rising, led by Eve Ensler, incredible woman. It's just a symbol of this incredible movement happening, and I hope it just continues with its momentum. But yes, it's this strength and power waking up in the feminine as they realize their roles in the planet, and how their love and compassion and kind of mothers' hearts begin to not only shine out towards their children, nourishing their own children or their own families, but also nourishing the world, as if the world, humankind, was their children. Extending the same compassion to them and honoring the life of all beings, and just bringing this mother-like nurturing that's so needed, as we've been separate for so long in the kind of more masculine identity in an individualistic culture, especially in Western cultures, in America, for sure. We've been feeling separate from one another, and I feel we've been experiencing this like separation anxiety, all of us, for so many years, many since we were kids, um, how quickly we lost that sense of oneness and was conditioned and learned the separateness, which I also think was necessary. Um, but the anxiety that that led to. So I hope I'm making sense here. I know my thoughts aren't completely ordered and I didn't take any notes. I just want to be spontaneous. But hope you kind of hear where I'm going with this. And it's just that we're waking up to a new time. We're entering a new time. And I do believe, things happen in cycles. So many people say the new paradigm, a new story is coming. And I agree, as, this is not like anything I've seen since in my 29 years on the planet. And it is a marked time. I feel it is like a significant period that we'll always remember, a turning point. But I also would like to acknowledge that things always happen in cycles, and it's not like there was everything before now and then everything after now, BC, AD kind of thing. Because life has been going on and on all this time, without us needing to categorize it into sections and paradigms. But yeah, I think we will see a significant change in the way we live our lives, in our awareness of each other. And I think I just couldn't be more excited about this change. And I think it has a lot to do with bringing in the divine feminine, finally, into our hearts, into our lives, and manifesting her on the planet as harmony, as cooperation, co-creation rather than competition. So we've been living in this like survivalist culture where it's like every man for himself is a common phrase. Every man for himself. It doesn't create a very loving feeling about it when you say that. And that's what a lot of people have in their bodies. This feeling of I have to make it for me and my family. I have to take what I need because otherwise someone will take it from me. Someone will get it first. And this works a lot in work dynamics at your offices. You often feel in competition with each other for who's going to get that, open position or, anything. And I think a lot of it is because, okay, I don't want to go too far off track, but you feel the competition all around. You even feel it driving when cars are speeding past. They don't want to let anyone in, because they have to get to where they're going first, and no one else matters in that process. It's not a sharing experience when you're driving down a road. Most places in the U.S. and definitely in D.C., you experience that competition firsthand and that scarcity. Like me. It's really ugly, I think. Such an ugly energy. And we can do so much better. I mean, we can live so much brighter and happier just by bringing in more of a sense of abundance. And that's up to us to bring in, each one of us, to feel abundant and to spread it to others. Because if we're all giving, there will never be a lack, especially if we're giving of our purpose and our passions, which we'll get into. But we'll all be nurturing each other, and we'll be feeling more abundant than ever if we're, giving what comes naturally from us. It's effortless, like breathing. Just things will just happen in synchronicity, happen in most divinely timed, beautiful ways, and we'll be surrounded with beauty, love, and just lavish richness. And I don't mean richness in the old paradigm kind of way. I mean just richness, trees, flowers, green, appreciation of what's already here, mountains, oceans, just making the most of this beautiful world that we live in, finally. So, yeah, that's the trend that I'm seeing happening on the planet right now. The divine feminine is making her appearance, her grand entrance, though she's never gone anywhere, I want to add, she's definitely never gone anywhere, and she's been needed um, for every step in the creation process along the way, and she's been here. But the difference now is that we're going to actually see her, and we're going to actually honor her for the gifts that she brings, cultivate her in our lives and in our collective culture. So this, I think, is already a huge shift, and one for the better. So I guess that'll be all for right now for this part one. And stay tuned for more. I think there will probably be 10 more here, so much to go over. And looking forward to seeing you and being seen very soon. Namaste.